Asteroid of fear.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Men of the House podcast. And on today's episode, we're going to do a little weekend recap. And I'm recording this on Sunday. I just got finished working out. And this will help me to avoid doing it too late. So I'm not about that late stuff. Trying to get everything early, be a little more proactive. And who knows what will come from the day? We shall see. So maybe it won't be a full weekend recap, but maybe I can make some predictions. How about that? All right. Starting off, let me see, what was the week was, well, I already released Saturday's episode. So that gives you an idea about the week and kind of what was going on, talking about habits, this and that, why I do what I do. And this AM, hold on, let me pause for the cause real quick. And we're back. Little pause for the cause. So, as I was saying, yeah, just going over my routine, my daily routine as to what I do. That was kind of Saturday's episode, talking about the progress Buck made for the week, in addition to, oh, yeah, not getting very much sleep, which I didn't get much sleep last night. We'll go over that. On to the weekend recap. Well, let me see. I woke up yesterday, started my routine, did everything early, started tracking my metrics. And then, of course, being a weekend day with my wife here, I don't have to worry about whether Buck's awake or not before I go on my walk. So I hit up the outside for an early walk. It was quite chilly, but I do need the practice because I did sign up for a little 20-mile trek with Andrew on sometime in February. So it's going to be cold. So I want to start getting myself used to the cold. You warm up once you start going. Yeah, we'll see how the weather's going to be in February. In Texas, it could be snowing, it could be nothing. But February seems to be the month that we kind of get the wonky weather where it's going to freeze and we're going to lose power for 4 to 7 days, stuff like that. So it should be interesting, but I went ahead and got my walk in early yesterday and then kind of, well, my wife had gone out early because my daughter had Saturday school from 8 to noon. And then she went out doing stuff because yesterday was my daughter's birthday party. Her birthday was Wednesday. We had the party yesterday. And so she was out doing stuff for that in between dropping her off at school for Saturday school and then picking her up at noon. And we had to leave probably about 2. We needed to leave a little bit earlier. But, what made yesterday so special? Well, outside of it being my daughter's birthday party, it was my mom actually came over to watch Buck, and we were able to go out as a family. So that was the most important win yesterday. Was since October 12th, which is when I picked Buck up, we have not, other than in the house, we've not gone out anywhere as a family. So shout out to my mom for coming and watching Buck, allowing that to happen. So it's significant for that reason, and I'll go into it a little bit more, but we ended up, getting ready, getting everything done. Of course, we left out later than we wanted to because we had to change Buck to make sure he was dry and whatnot, not to leave my mom with a mess. Or, my mom's in her 60s, late 60s, so she wasn't going to be changing Buck by herself. And yeah, we had about an hour drive to the location. She had her party at this place called Paint Slingers, which is you can sling paint on each other, but then you also like paint pictures or you hang them on the wall and you can like sling, splatter, all that kind of stuff. So kind of that, probably what you would see in a movie where somebody's just throwing the brush, making paint splatters, looking like blood spatter. But yeah, we went there. They dress them up in like goggles. There's like 99-cent disposable ponchos. They do a little bit of that. And yeah, the kids had fun while they were doing that. I helped my wife set up, had to run to the Dollar Tree and, grab some tablecloths, make it nice and pretty because my daughter is into Olivia Rodrigo, and so she wanted purple and black. Those are kind of her colors. So yeah, I went and scooped up some purple tablecloths, come back, set everything up, snacks and drinks, and had the cupcakes out. And then, of course, I'd ordered pizza for the kids to eat and the parents too. And ended up, it was um, the pizza shop, Domino's, was actually parallel across a little side street that was kind of the connection or lack thereof between the two parking lots. So yeah, that was a short ride. That was nice. I was able to go do that. It was done early. Went and picked up 7 pies, came back, they had a nice little setup. And what's kind of cool is we had this place to ourselves. There were no other birthday parties or anything going on. So yeah, that worked out. And the kids got done with their things and came out, got cleaned up. And us adults, my wife, kind of the prep person, you know, loaded up some plates with cheese and pepperoni slices, and that's what the kids ended up doing, eating. And then, of course, we had gifts and cupcakes. And yeah, I didn't eat all day, but I sure as hell blew through my macros in one sitting. I've been eating like a madman this week for whatever reason. So goodbye 156, hello 160. But, of course, even if you're strict and you have, 5, 6 days of on point diet, you can blow through it in one day and gain 3 to 5 pounds in sodium and water and volume, just food. But yeah, I didn't eat all day. So I was kind of saving myself because I've been eating all week, eating later than I like. I've been good during the day, but here lately in the evening, man, I've just been smashing like a whole bag of fruit ripe grapes, which, there's nothing wrong with a serving of 45 calories, but when you start smashing a bag, you're talking about 300 calories plus worth of grapes. A lot of sugar. Natural sugar, but sugar nonetheless. So yeah, I devoured about 17, 1800 calories. Man, yeah. 2 slices of pan, pepperoni, some thin crust slices, 2 cupcakes, but we don't do buttercream icing. We do whipped. We are a whipped icing family. That's what we dig. Keep it light, not too sweet. Less calories, less sugar, minus the cake, of course. But yeah, we did that and then had a nice ride home. And kind of the crappy thing on that was we got multiple, thankfully, to all the good citizens of where the town we were in, people being helpful and letting us know our tail lights were out, which is like, oh, great. One more thing. Are the lights on or off? Or, did I blow a fuse jumping off the home health nurse the other night? Um, the person we did buy the car from did have a wheelchair lift in the back. So maybe it was a loose wire where that was connected for the tail lights, or maybe it was, could be anything. Could be a short, but the brake lights work in the back. So the tail lights, maybe it's a bulb, maybe it's something, but that's something we're going to have to fix this week. But we made it home an hour, maybe a little more than an hour drive without tail lights, without getting pulled over. And that was kind of my main thing, was I just want to get home. And because of that, now we have one vehicle with a window still stuck in the door because we haven't taken it to get repaired because my wife has been so busy. But hopefully this week, before it starts getting too cold, because we will have to arrive to the destination with an open window. But hopefully we can get that sorted out this week. And then, of course, it's raining today. Um, and they're not open on the weekend, so we know it won't be today. And I doubt I will get the tail lights fixed today because it's raining. I don't want to take it out, but maybe tomorrow or the next day when we hit one of these 70-day clear afternoons, we'll go get the window fixed, get the tail lights out, take it to O'Reilly's and have one of them check it and see, is it a bulb? Is it a fuse? They'll know more. Hopefully, take it to the experts, take it to the people who I'm sure I can figure it out. I might YouTube it before. We'll see. Undecided. There is some satisfaction of making repairs yourself. However, my bandwidth is going to be strained to begin with a little bit. But we got home, and then after that, I went and that's what it was. So because of that, my mom was watching Buck. I drove my mom home and brought back her CRV that my wife sometimes drives, and that way they'll have tail lights since our CRV and our van are not drivable at night or in the cold. I brought back the CRV, and I went home where I live, not here at Buck's. And that was my first time going home since October 12th. Sugar, our dog, went crazy, even though she's been over here a couple times. She was going nuts. But yeah, I didn't stay too long. I grabbed a few items and then raced off to go see my dad because I have not seen my dad probably since last Sunday. And I hadn't been out of the house or the compound since last Monday, Veterans Day. So yeah, it was kind of a big deal to get to go out and have a family day. Super grateful for that. Um, spend time all together, blow through my macros, but sometimes, hey, her birthday's only coming once a year, so that's kind of how it is. I'm playing the long game. You're going to have those days. Not perfect. You just get back on track. And yeah, went and saw my dad. Were able to catch some of the last UFC fights, which is kind of our thing. I wish I could have gotten there earlier, but yeah, missed my daughter's birthday. And yeah, we watched some UFC. And then once the pay-per-view started, I went ahead and came home after grabbing some ice and stuff from Sonic and whatnot. But yeah, I got home, straightened up some things because my wife kind of unloaded the car and just put things where they were. And mentally, like if things are kind of a wreck and there's too much shit on the counter, then I start going, my mind can't rest. A cluttered mind, cluttered space, cluttered mind. Um, yeah, it was difficult. But I eventually wound down and started watching some TV, and my daughter came out and grabbed her new blanket and kind of laid in my lap on the recliner. And yeah, I just remember feeling grateful, having had a good day, the first day of, a true family day. Um, because that was one of the things we had to consider with this role, is that somebody has to be here all the time. If not my wife, then me. Um, and while my mom can watch them, she's probably not. Being in her late 60s, she's not going to be able to do the lifting, turning, all the stuff that we do. But yeah, it was a temporary, nice little reprieve to get out, but more important, it was, that family time. And I used to get much more of it before I took this role. But like I said, this is what I signed up for. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm here. I know the benefit it's having. And so I'm not going to knock that. But, I stay on my routine and I have my priorities, my cup fillers, which for me are like my personal daily habits, my exercise, but also my family time and, you know, finding a way to continue to squeeze that in. Because I'd mentioned before that, I want my family here, not just one of us here, but us spending time together here as well, which we're going to be doing later. My wife, or they're going to be leaving in a little bit because my daughter does have a birthday party to go to today, and my wife's going to get a massage then. But when she gets off, she's going to come back and we are going to be putting together my daughter's vanity. Not looking forward to it, but looking forward to getting it done, trying to reframe my mind and go, hey, this is for her. Let's enjoy it. But man, it's kind of like shitty IKEA furniture. It's just a pain in the ass kind of thing to do. Instructions. I mean, once it starts coming together, it's fine, but that is not my forte, not the thing that I like very much, putting shit together. But we got to do that today when we get back from the party, and I'll try to go see my dad again, just because I didn't get to see him much. Maybe hour and a half last night, hour 15, and with it being so long, I'm so used to seeing him almost daily. But yeah, I'll go see him, hang out with him for a bit, maybe help him out with his other friend who lives in his community who just got done with dialysis, the one we bought the car from. Um, he needs help as well. So whenever we're over there, typically my wife and I will roll and change him, clean him up, and do that kind of stuff. Because my dad is 70 or 71, and it is difficult for him to go down there. He can barely take care of himself sometimes with Parkinson's, seizures, and all the meds he takes. And having had knee surgery and ended up in the ICU, he's still not 100% from that. So it is very difficult for him to do that. And so my wife and I will try to help out as much as possible, but it can't be daily. It's not like we can get up at on school days and head over there way before, take care of all that, and then come back and take my daughter to school. I don't even think David gets up that early unless he has an early dialysis appointment. But yeah, my wife hooked that up yesterday, and I'll probably hook it up this evening. And of course, just start preparing for the week, make some clips, upload this episode, and start, yeah, getting ready for the week. Start journeying back down to 156. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. We got some leftover pizza to eat. So yeah, I might be having pizza today. Although I've yet to eat. Kind of fasting as long as possible. All right, it's 11:11. Let's make a wish. I'm going to wish for a great smooth day and that we get this thing put together without any problems. It goes quickly and that we just have a nice, fulfilling day. Full of fellowship, her with her friends, my wife gets some stress relief through a massage, and perhaps me and Buck will, just have a good day. And yeah, that was the other thing was, man, I just still have not been sleeping well. Get up, my body still feels wrecked, even though my back's better. My ribs kind of hurt from leaning over the headboard and pulling Buck up by a draw sheet to get his head up as his body slides down a little bit. So my ribs have been kind of jeffed, and then, after that, it's yeah, it's just been rough in the mornings, not feeling great and feeling tired. That's what happened yesterday was actually was tired and probably in between my wife stopping and dropping some things off here, we I ended up falling asleep on the couch while watching a TV show. Woke up at like 10 till 12 and was like, oh shit, it's book club. Don't like to miss my book club. So I arrived in there late, which I kind of hate, but better late than never. I still got something out of it, was still able to participate. But I say those natural naps when your body needs it. You don't even know you're going to sleep. You doze off. That's probably the most important time your body can have a nap because your body's telling you you need it. And speaking of needing it, I might need one today because I stayed up late last night. I probably went to bed about 12:45. Maybe I started falling asleep on the couch watching TV. Um, I was actually in a state where I could watch. I actually watched a few shows, some like Oxygen or investigation, discovery, murder, mystery type shit. That's what I enjoy. Documentaries, true crime, who done it, and yeah. So I fall asleep on the couch. I think I get up about 12:45. Come into the bedroom 1:30. I hear hello, hello. I get up and go tend to Buck. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, I need this thing unhooked, and he's like pointing toward his catheter bag. I'm like, unhooked from what? He's like, well, I woke up and I was having this dream and I was in three different places and then I woke up and it's not one of those three places and um I got to get up and tend to some things and I'm like, okay, so I kind of do this stuff, change or empty out the cath bag so I can put it on the bed like he asked me to, not full of urine, and start talking to him like, what's going on? Where do you want to go? And he's like, well, I need to find these papers. I need to go into the other rooms, all this stuff. And I'm like, fuck, it's 1:20 in the morning, you know? It's like, well, I'm sorry to wake you up so early. And I'm like, no, that's fine. But, Sophie and Gabby are sleeping in the other two rooms and we can't go in there because they're asleep. So I don't know what paperwork you're looking for, but, it's going to have to wait. Kind of explain to him, like, hey, Gabby normally helps you with this. Maybe she can help you with that. And he wasn't getting it. And then he finally got it a little bit. He's like, you helped me to see things in a different perspective, but I got to figure some things out. And I was thinking maybe he's thinking over sleep. And yeah, we conversate some more. I keep asking questions, trying to deduce what he actually wants and what's on his mind and what's plaguing him and keeping him up. And, also trying to think of how I'm going to explain the solutions of, hey, it can't be done now at 1:30 in the morning, but we can do it tomorrow. And then he starts getting all antsy about he's got to pay taxes. And I'm like, well, we got a little bit. And he's like, well, it's November. But I guess this is when people start getting their tax statements and all that kind of stuff and start gathering shit up. I guess depending on if you pay taxes annually, quarterly, like property taxes and whatnot. So yeah, he was a hot mess. But he finally simmered down. I was able to explain stuff, refilled his water for him, farewelled him good night, and I think I finally got back to sleep and still woke up early. So yeah, not great. And then of course I got up, did my thing, but didn't have coffee. I just didn't feel great. Sinuses, body aches. Um, I laid down on the couch and fell asleep again. Yeah, woke up to my wife making coffee. Had me a couple of cups, went through some of my metrics, did the things I normally do, let that caffeine kick in, and then went off on the walk outside. But about a quarter mile in it, maybe half mile, it starts to mist. So I trek my way back and hop on the treadmill for an hour. Then one of my daughter's friends got dropped off to go to the party. with them, and yeah, we're off to the races. I came in, start off recording so I can get this done while Buck's asleep, and right before my wife and them head off to the party. And yeah, that way I can focus on all the other stuff. I can make the clips, get all this stuff uploaded and whatnot, so I can tend to Buck while they're gone. And then, of course, once they get back, we'll address the vanity and going and seeing my dad and, just having a good Sunday, getting everything set up. We got laundry going, trash day. I don't think it's trash day tomorrow. Maybe it's Tuesday, Friday, or Monday, Friday. I can't remember. But yeah, that typical Sunday shit that everybody does. Get everything ready for the week. Last week was a long week. It was my daughter's birthday. I think, oh yeah, she was sick Monday, Tuesday. We had Veterans Day. I took her to the doctor. Um, yeah, it was a long ass week. But I'm predicting, foreshadowing, mentally preparing for a nice, smooth, relaxing day, filling my cup with family time. Don't discount that. And remember, you might end up in a situation like me where, hey, you have all the family time now, and now you have to work to make it happen. So understand how important it is. Make that time, spend the time with the people you care about, even if it's challenging, because you just never know how things will go. Um, life changes daily, circumstances come up. I went from having all the time to very little time, but I'm still getting everything done. That's the most important part. Like the habit tracking. I know all the things I'm striving to get done every day. You just got to squeeze them in around these obligations. And of course, I didn't hit my Udemy goal yesterday, uh, studying, building the course or building the website that I'm building. But that's okay, It's the long game, like a marathon, big picture. Do you need to hit 100% every day just so everything's checked off? No. You want it to have meaning. If you had time to do it and do it well, that's the thing. You're not just checking boxes. You want to get something out of it. It's about making progress. So I'd rather have some 80, 90% days of reaching my goals if I gave 100% in reaching that 80 to 90% versus 100% of just checking boxes and going through the motions and dialing it in. Um, Maybe both have their time and place. Maybe like this conversation, I can dial it in or wing it because I've gotten more comfortable and my stream of consciousness gets better because I've been thinking about kind of what I want to say and I knew this. I'm kind of coming into this while I was on my walk. I was thinking about all the things I wanted to say and go over. But yeah, make that time, take advantage of it. One thing we can't get more of. Remember, you're going to have a last conversation and interaction with everyone in your life, so you need to make them count. Kind of like I told my daughter last night, we were talking about something, and she said, you know, on the TV, somebody had passed away, and she said something about, one day maybe she's going to have a friend that's probably going to pass away. And I told her that. And I said, this is why it's important you be kind and be nice to everybody and treat them with respect and dignity. You don't know what's going on in their life, but you don't know when their last day is, and I told her about, the first time I experienced that was the story I told last time on my journey about being in a bus that ran over the girl that sat in front of me in class at 7 years old. Um, And I told her it's inevitable. Somebody, will pass away. But that's why it's important that you don't let petty shit disrupt friendships. And just because everybody else doesn't like a person doesn't impact whether or not you can like them, be nice to them, be friendly, treat them with kindness, respect, any of that kind of stuff. That's a lot how I was in high school, was I just tried to be equal to everyone, whether they were preps, jocks, scrubs, whatever people called them back then, your different classifications of the types of people and groups there were in junior high and high school. I just tried to remember to be fair to everyone because, you know, later you would hear stories about maybe somebody you went to high school with committing suicide. And, like I told her, you're just thankful that you never added to that turmoil in their brain. Because you didn't look down on them, you didn't treat them different, you didn't act like you were too good for them. Um, just because you dressed different, or maybe because your parents had a different level of money. Um, yeah, kind of a lot to think about on this Sunday. But yeah, she's at that age. She's 11 now. It's time to start explaining that and explaining some of these truths and why. And hopefully it'll go a long way with her. Yeah, grateful for yesterday. Very fulfilling. Super stoked, and super stoked to have another good day and getting ahead on this episode. Already thinking about the next episode on Wednesday, which will be another My Journey, talking about my story. This will probably be the point where I go into the Navy and all the shit that happened there and how that kind of changed my life forever, and some of the mistakes I made that eroded my self-worth. And I've just now started to get it back. Yeah, but it's taken me a long time to understand that my self-worth is not attached to achievements outside of the incident I will mention in my journey. Uh, my worth is tied to me. Do I love myself? You know, but like I said, with my parents and everybody else, it was, I always got praise and whatnot for accomplishment. And therefore, my worth was kind of tied to that, a piece of it. But now my worth is tied to how well I stay aligned with what I believe and all that, and understanding that, yes, I've made mistakes. Doesn't make me a bad person. It just makes me a person that's made mistakes. But if I can learn from them, if someone else can learn from them, and I can have them avoid making the same mistakes, or raise a good child who's thoughtful and kind and well adjusted, then those mistakes were worth it. I mean, God doesn't make mistakes. He gave me all these experiences for a reason, to share them with the world and possibly help people. That's my thing, is give myself to the world, mistakes and all. And if it helps somebody, then awesome. I hope it does. Even if it's a reframe, or just helping you see things a different way, different perspective. Anywho, it is almost that time. They're getting ready to go. So I'm going to sign off, get all this done, and start my day. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with another episode of My Journey. But shout out, this is episode 96. We're approaching 100. Although I see it just like the 1 mile marker in a marathon. It's the first milestone of many miles to go. Also, be on the lookout for your peakperformancepartner.com. That will be the coaching business coming in 2025. It'll be like accountability coaching, change, and transformation type coaching for whatever it is you need to change or be accountable to. And all those steps will lead to transformation, kind of like it did for me, if you stay on them. Yeah, now the private accountability groups are your peak performance partner groups in WhatsApp and Facebook. So if you want to join, if you need accountability with something, hit the link in the bio. You'll see where you can go. But you must want to make progress. You have to want to be accountable for something. That's what it's there for. It's not one of these bullshit meme groups or 80s retro, do you remember when Gatorade came in a glass bottle kind of shit. This is for people who are serious about self-improvement, transformation, change, being a better person, community, connection. Yeah, that's what this group is for. So when you request, make sure you answer the questions. If I email you back and ask you what you want to be prepared for that, because I'm the moderator. I'm the one in charge of letting people in and out, and I'm going to keep all bullshit and bullies and riffraff out of the group. It's for serious inquiries only. So that sounds like that is interesting to you. You need some of that. Check it out. Hit me up. I'm more than happy to talk with you and figure out if this is something good for you. I'm pretty sure it is. But until then, go out and be the person that you want to meet. Till next time, peace.
Asteroid of fear.